One. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome back. Blue Baloo transmitting at 52 hertz. And make no mistake, this is a 52 hertz transmission. Alright, so now that I have decent internet, my Bible reading, Sundays, can now continue. Look, I even marked it with the thing. In the future, I have to get a better Bible cam. Something from up here. Okay. A better camera that follows the words and stuff. That would be better.
Louis, it's 1 a.m.
Hey, what's up, Arxis? 1 a.m. for you, maybe. Where are you? Actually, don't answer that question. That's personal information. Yeah, it might be 1 a.m. where you're at. It's Sunday for me. And now that I have decent internet, some fiber optic internet, I'll be able to stream more.
I'm on vacation.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So, well, Arxis, you enjoy your vacation. I hope you're having some good times. Alright, we're gonna continue on Genesis 43. So, so far, we're in Joseph. The Joseph got arrested. He then became the seer of Egypt. And his brothers don't know. Okay. Which, he's a better person than I would have been. Right? Because your brothers that sold you to slavery show up. I just have them thrown into prison. Like forever. I don't like to incentivize bastards. I don't like to incentivize scumbags. Okay? If you don't penalize scumbags, then if you don't penalize bad people will continue to do bad things. And just the fact that some of them might change, yeah, well, so what? You're still incentivizing bad behavior. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, Joseph was a different person. Let's continue. Joseph's brothers returned to Egypt. Now the famine was severe in the land, and when they had eaten the grain that they had brought from Egypt, their father said to them, "Go again, buy us a little food." But Judah said to him, "The man solemnly warned us, saying, 'You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you.'" "If you will send your brother with us, we will go down and buy your food. But if you will not send him, we will not go down. For the man said to us, 'You shall not see my face unless your brother is with you.'" This is something that the Bible likes to do. Or actually, I'm not sure if the whole Bible, because these are just many books, but certainly in Genesis, it likes to repeat things. Israel said, "Why did you treat me so badly as to tell the man that you had another brother?" They replied, "The man questioned us carefully about ourselves and our kindred, saying, 'Is your father still alive? Do you have another brother?' What we told him was an answer to these questions. Could we in any way know that he would say, 'Bring your brother down'?" I mean, he has a point. And Judah said to Israel, his father, Send the boy with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and you, and also our little ones. I will be a pledge of his safety. From my hand you shall require him. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, then let me bear the blame forever. If we had not delayed, we would not have returned twice. Yeah, that's true. They got a pretty strict interrogation because he accused them of being spies. Their father Israel said to them, "If it must be so, then do this. Take some of the choice fruits of the land in your bags and carry a present down to the man, a little balm and a little honey, gum, myrrh, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Take double the money with you. Carry back with you the money that was returned in the mouth of your sacks. Perhaps it was an oversight." Okay. I want to say this. This is what they call a test. You got to test people. Okay? Take also your brother and arise. Go again to the man. May God Almighty grant you mercy before the man, and may he send back your other brother, and Benjamin. And as for me, if I'm bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. Bereaved. Not bereaved, bereaved. So the man took his present, and they took double the money with them. And Benjamin, they arose and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the steward of his house, "Bring the man into the house, and slaughter an animal, and make ready for the men, for the men are to dine with me at noon." The man did as Joseph told him, and brought the men to Joseph's house. And the men were afraid because they were brought to Joseph's house. And they said, "It is because of the money which was replaced in our sacks the first time that we are brought in, so that he may assault us and fall upon us to make us servants and seize our donkeys." So they went up to the steward to Joseph's house and spoke with him at the door of the house, and said, "Oh, my lord, we came down the first time to buy food. And when we came to the lodging place, we opened our sacks, and there was each man's money in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight. So we have brought it again with us, and we have brought other money down with us to buy food. We do not know who put our money in our sacks." He replied, "Peace to you. Do not be afraid. Your God and the God of your father has put treasure in your sacks for you. I received your money." Then he brought Simon out to them. And when the man had brought the men into Joseph's house and given them water, and they had washed their feet, and when he had given their donkeys fodder, they prepared the present for Joseph's coming at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. When Joseph came home, they brought into the house to him the present that they had with them, and bowed down to him to the ground. And he inquired about the welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom you spoke? Is he still alive? They said, Your servant our father is well, he is still alive. And they bowed their heads and prostrated themselves, and he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your youngest brother, of whom you spoke to me? God be gracious to you, my son. Then Joseph hurried out, for his compassion grew warm for his brother. And see, he sought a place to weep, and he entered his chamber and wept there. Then he washed his face and came out. And controlling himself, he said, Serve the food. They served him by himself, and then, they served him by himself and them, by themselves. And the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves, because the Egyptians could not eat with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination to the Egyptians. How sad. And they sat before him, the firstborn actually, you know what? It is, well, never mind. It's an abomination to the Egyptians. Notice that, if I remember correctly, when Moses, well, I guess we're not there yet. We're not to the part of Moses. So never mind. But this is early indicators of prejudice in the part of the Egyptians. They served him by himself and then by himself and them by themselves. And the Egyptians who ate with him by themselves. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men looked at one another in amazement. Portions were taken to them from Joseph's table, but Benjamin's portion was 5 times as much as theirs, and they drank and they were merry with him. Joseph tests his brothers. Isn't that what he was doing this whole time? Then he commanded the steward of his house, fill the man's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put each man's money in the mouth of their sack, and put my cup. Oh, gotta expand it. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, with his money for the grain. And he did as Joseph told him. As soon as morning was light, the men were sent away with their donkeys. They had gone only a short distance from the city. Now Joseph said to his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, Why have you repaid evil for good? It is not from this that my Lord drinks and by this that he practices divination. You have done evil in doing this. Okay, so the cup is a trap. When he overtook them, he spoke to them these words. They said to him, "Why does my Lord speak in such words as these? Far be it from your servants to do such a thing. Behold, the money that we found in the mouths of our sacks we brought back to you from the land of Canaan. How then would we steal silver or gold from your Lord's house? Whichever of your servants is found with it shall die, and we also will be the Lord's servants." He said, "Let it be as you say. He who is found with it shall be my servant, and the rest of you shall be innocent." Then each man quickly lowered the sack to the ground, and each man opened his sack. And he searched, beginning with the eldest and ending with the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack, of course. Of course. Then they tore their clothes, and every man loaded his donkey, and they returned to the city. When Judah and his brothers came to Joseph's house, he was still there. They fell before him to the ground. Joseph said to them, "What deed is this that you have done? Do you not know that a man like me can indeed practice divination?" And Judah said, "What shall we say to my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how can we clear ourselves? God has found out the guilt of your servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he, also in whose hand the cup has been found." But he said, "Far be it from me that I should do so. Only the man in whose hand the cup was found shall be my servant. But as for you, go up in peace to your father." Then Judah went up to him and said, "Oh, my lord, please let your servant speak a word in my lord's ears, and let not your anger burn against our servant, for you are like Pharaoh himself. My lord asked his servants, saying, 'Have you a father or a brother?' And we said to my lord, 'We have a father, an old man, and a younger brother, the child of his old age. His brother is dead, and he alone left of his mother's children, and his father loves him.' Then you said to your servants, 'Bring him down to me, that I may set my eyes on him.' We said to my lord, 'The boy cannot leave his father, for he should leave his father would die.' Then you said to your servants, 'Unless the youngest brother comes down with you, you shall not see my face again.' When we went back to your servant, my father, we told him the words of my lord. And when our father said, 'Go again, buy us a little food,' we said, 'We cannot go down if our youngest brother goes with us.' Then we will go down, for we cannot see the man's face unless our youngest brother is with us." Then your servant, my father, said to us, "You know that my wife bore me 2 sons. One left me, And I said, surely he has been torn to pieces, and I have never seen him since. If you take this one also from me, and harm happens to him, you will bring down my gray hairs in evil to Sheol. So Sheol is like hell. It's what the Jews call hell, like Sheol. Now before, as soon as I come to your servant, my father, and the boy is not with us, then, as his life is bound up in the boy's life, as soon as he sees that the boy is not with us, he will die. And your servants will bring down the gray hairs of your servants, our father, with sorrow to Sheol. For your servant became a pledge of safety for the boy to my father, saying, if I do not bring him back to you, then I shall bear the blame before my father all my life. Now, therefore, please let your servant remain instead of the boy as a servant to my lord, and let the boy go back to his brothers. For now I can go back to my father if the boy is not with me. I fear to see the evil that would find my father. All right, so he's offering to stay instead of little Benjamin. However, they're not telling the whole truth because they're not telling Joseph what happened with Joseph. Now, they don't know that's Joseph, basically. But they're still saying that the other brother, aka Joseph, died. So I think Joseph is trying to find a way to pry it out. Then Joseph could not control himself before all those who stood by him. He cried, make everyone go out from me. So no one stayed with him when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud. See? He wanted to keep the little game going, and he just couldn't. So no one stayed with him when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. And he wept aloud so that the Egyptians heard it, and the household of Pharaoh heard it. And Joseph said to his brothers, I am Joseph. Is my father still alive? But his brothers could not answer him, for they were dismayed at his presence. So Joseph said to his brothers, come near to me, please. And they came near, and he said, I am your brother Joseph, whom you sold to Egypt. And now do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life. For the famine has in the land these 2 years, and there are yet 5 years in which there will be neither plowing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant of earth, and to keep alive for you many survivors. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his household, and ruler over all the land of Egypt. Hurry and go up to my father and say to him, Thus says your son Joseph, God has made me lord of Egypt. Come down to me, do not tarry. You shall dwell in the land of Goshen, and you shall be near me, and you and your children, and your children's children, and your flocks, your herds, and all that you have. There I will provide for you, for there are yet 5 years of famine to come, so that you and your household and all that you have do not come to poverty. And now your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see, that it is my mouth that speaks to you. You must tell my father of all my honor in Egypt, and of all that you have seen. Hurry, and bring my father down here. Then they fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck, and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. And he kissed all his brothers, and wept upon them. After that, his brothers talked with him. When the report was heard in Pharaoh's house, Joseph's brothers have come, it pleased Pharaoh and his servants. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, Say to your brothers, Do this, load your beasts and go back to the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come to me, and I will give you the best of the land of Egypt, and you shall eat of the fat of the land. And you, Joseph, are commanded to say, Do this, take wagons from the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Have no concern for your goods, for the best of all the land of Egypt is yours. Yeah, because he saved the country. Everybody was gonna die in this famine. The sons of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the command of Pharaoh, and gave them provisions for the journey. To each and all of them he gave a change of clothes. But to Benjamin he gave 300 shekels of silver and 5 changes of clothes. To his father he sent as follows: 10 donkeys loaded with the good things of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, bread, provisions for his father on the journey. Then he sent his brothers away, and as they departed, he said to them, Do not quarrel on the way. So they went up to Egypt and came to the land of Canaan to their father Jacob. And they told him, Joseph is still alive, and he is ruler of all the land of Egypt. And his heart became numb, for he did not believe them. But when they told him of all the words of Joseph which he had said to them, and when he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to him to carry the spirit of their father Jacob, the spirit of their father Jacob revived. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph, my son, is still alive. I will go and see him before I die. So Israel, aka Joseph, not aka Jacob. So Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices to the God for his father Isaac. And God spoke to Israel in visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here I am. Then he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make you into a great nation. I myself will go down with you to Egypt, and I will also bring you up again, and Joseph's hand shall close your eyes. Then Jacob set out from Beersheba. The sons of Israel carried Jacob, their father, their little ones, and their wives in the wagons that Pharaoh had sent to carry him. They also took their livestock and their goods, in which they had granted in the land of Canaan, and came to Egypt. Jacob and all of his offspring with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all of the offspring he brought with him to Egypt. And so everybody moved. Now these are names of the descendants of Israel who came into Egypt: Jacob and his sons Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and the sons of Reuben: Hanok, Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. The sons of Simon: Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanite woman. The sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The sons of Judah: Er, Onan, Shelah, Perez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Issachar: Tola, Puva, Job, and Shimron. The sons of Zebulun: Sered, Elon, and Jaleel. These are the sons of Leah, whom she bore to Jacob in Padam Aram, together with his daughter Dinah. Altogether his sons and his daughters numbered 33. Interesting number. The sons of God: Siphion, Hagi, Shuni, Esbon, Eri, Arodi, and Areli. The sons of Asher: Ema, Ishva, Ishvi, Bariah, and Sarah, the sister and the sons of Bariah: Heber and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bore Jacob. 16 persons. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife: Joseph and Benjamin. And to Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, the priest of On, bore him. And the sons of Benjamin: Bela, Becher, Ashbel, Gera, Naaman, Ehi, Rosh, Mupim, Hupim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel who were born to Jacob, 14 persons in all. The son of Dan, Hushim. The sons of Naphtali, Jazil, Guni, Jezer, and Shilem. These are the sons of Bilhah, whom Laban gave to Rachel his daughter, and these she bore to Jacob, 7 persons in all. All the persons belonging to Jacob who came into Egypt, who were his own descendants, not including Jacob's sons, wives, were 66 persons in all. And the sons of Joseph, who were born to him in Egypt, were 2. All the persons of the house of Jacob who came into Egypt were 70. He had sent Judah ahead of him to Joseph to show the way before him in Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. Then Joseph prepared his chariot and went up to meet Israel his father in Goshen. He presented himself to him and fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. Israel said to Joseph, "Now let me die, since I have seen your face and I know that you are still alive." Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, "I will go up and tell Pharaoh and will say to him, my brothers and my father's household who were in the land of Canaan have come to me. And the men are shepherds, for they have been keepers of livestock, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. While Pharaoh calls you and says, When Pharaoh calls you and says, what is your occupation? You shall say, your servants have been keepers of livestock from our youth even until now, both we and our fathers, in order that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. What? What? Hold on a second. I gotta read that again. Your servants have been keeper of livestock from your youth even until now, both we and our fathers, in order that you may dwell in the land of Goshen. For every shepherd is an abomination to the Egyptians. Why? Why then the Egyptians like shepherds? So Joseph went in and told Pharaoh, my father and my brothers with their flocks and herds and all that they possess have come to the land of Canaan. They are now in the land of Goshen. And from among his brothers he took 5 men and presented them to Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to his brothers, "What is your occupation?" And they said to Pharaoh, "Your servants are shepherds, as our fathers were." They said to Pharaoh, "We have come to sojourn in the land, for there is no pasture for your servants' flocks. For the famine is severe in the land of Canaan, and now please let your servants dwell in the land of Goshen." Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Your father and your brothers have come to you. The land of Egypt is before you. Settle your father and your brothers in the best of the land. Let them settle in the land of Goshen. And if you know any able men among them, put them in charge of any livestock." Then Joseph brought in Jacob his father and stood him before Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Jacob, "How many are the days of the years of your life?" And Jacob said to Pharaoh, "The days of the years of my sojourning are 130 years. Few and evil have been the days of the years of my life, and they have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their sojourning." And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from his presence of Pharaoh. Then Joseph settled his father and his brothers, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramses, as Pharaoh has commanded. And Joseph provided his father, his brothers, and all his father's household with food according to the number of their dependents. Joseph and the famine. Now there was no food in all the land, for the famine was very severe, so that the land of Egypt and the land of Canaan languished by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan in exchange for the grain that they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And then the money was all spent in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan. All the Egyptians came to Joseph and said, "Give us food. Why should we die before your eyes? For our money is gone." And Joseph answered, "Give your livestock, and I will give you food in exchange for your livestock, if your money is gone." So they brought their livestock to Joseph, and Joseph gave them food in exchange for the horses, the flocks, the herds, and the donkeys. He supplied them with food in exchange for all their livestock that year. And when the year was ended, they came to him following year and said to him, "We will not hide from my lord that our money is all spent. The herds of livestock are my lord's. There is nothing left inside of my lord but our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for food, and we with our land will be servants to Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, and that the land may not be desolate. Damn, they're just. What does this mean? Well, in a crisis, you have all this leverage, all this economic leverage, and you can just, buy, just buy things from people. Okay, just buy them for really cheap. Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. All the Egyptians sold their fields because the famine was severe on them. The land became Pharaoh's. As for the people, he made servants of them. For one end, he made servants of them from one end of Egypt to the other. Only the land of the priests he did not buy, for the priests had a fixed allowance from Pharaoh and lived on the allowance that Pharaoh gave them. Therefore, they did not sell the land. Joseph said to the people, "Behold, I have this day bought you and your land for Pharaoh. Now here is seed for you, and you shall now sow the land. And at harvest you shall give a fifth to Pharaoh, and 4/5 shall be your own." Taxes. As seed for the field, and as for food for yourselves and your households, and as food for your little ones. And they said, "You have saved our lives. May it please my Lord, we will be servants to Pharaoh." So Joseph made it a statute according to the land of Egypt. And it stands to this day that Pharaoh should have the fifth, and the land of the priests alone did not become Pharaoh's. Thus Israel settled in the land of Egypt, in the land of Goshen, and they gained possessions in it, and were fruitful and multiplied greatly. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. So the days of Jacob, the years of his life, were 147 years. People live a long time. And when the time drew near that Israel must die, he called his son Joseph and said to him, "If now I have found favor in your sight, put your hand under my thigh, and promise to deal kindly and truly with me. Do not bury me in Egypt, but let me lie with my fathers. Carry me out of Egypt, and bury me in their burying place." He answered, "I will do as you have said." And he said, "Swear to me." And he swore to him. Then Israel bowed himself upon the head of his bed. Israel bowed himself upon the head of his bed. What does that mean? Jacob blesses Ephraim and Manasseh. After this, Joseph was told, "Behold, your father is ill." So he took with him his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And it was told to Jacob, "Your son Joseph has come to you." Then Israel summoned his strength and sat up in bed, And Jacob said to Joseph, God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me, and said to me, Behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply, and I will make of you a company of peoples, and will give this land to your offspring after you for your everlasting possession. And now your 2 sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt are mine. Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine, as Reuben and Simeon are. And the children that you fathered after them shall be yours. They shall be called by the name of their brothers in their inheritance. As for me, when I came from Padan, to my sorrow Rachel died in the land of Canaan on the way, when there was still some distance to go to Ephraim, and I buried her there on the way to Ephrath. Ephrath? That is Bethlehem. Ephrath is Bethlehem? When Israel saw Joseph's son, he said, Who are these? Joseph said to his father, They are my sons, whom God has given me. They are my sons whose God has given me here. And he said, Bring them to me, please, that I may bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim with age, so that he could not see. So Joseph brought them near him, and he kissed them and embraced them. And Israel said to Joseph, I never expected to see your face. And behold, God has let me see your offspring also. Then Joseph removed them from his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, and Israel's in his right hand towards Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand towards Israel's right hand, and brought them near him. And Israel, that's that's very detailed. And Israel stretched out his right hand and laid it on the head of Ephraim, whom the younger, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh, crossing his hands. For Manasseh was the firstborn, and he blessed Joseph and said, The God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life, the God who has been my shepherd all my life, long to this day, the angel who has redeemed me from all evil, bless the boys, and in them let my name be carried on, and the name of my father Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. When Joseph saw that his father laid his hands on the head of Ephraim, it displeased him. And he took his father's hand to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. And Joseph said to his father, Not this way, my father, since this one is a firstborn, put your right hand on his forehead. But his father refused and said, I know, my son, I know. He also shall become a people, and also shall be great. Nevertheless, his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his offspring shall become a multiple of nations. So he blessed them that day, saying, By you Israel will pronounce blessings, saying, God make you as Ephraim and Manasseh. Thus he put Ephraim before Manasseh. Then Israel said to Joseph, Behold, I am about to die, but God will be with you, and I will bring you again to the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to you rather than to your brothers one mountain slope that I took from the hand of the Amorites with my sword and with my bow. All right, let's go ahead and leave it right there. The next one is Jacob blesses his sons. So we're wrapping up the whole Jacob episode. So hold on, this thing needs to stick out. Put it like this, upside down. There you go. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I'm happy to be back and be doing the Bible streams. Not the Bible streams, but the Bible reading streams. So, yeah. As a matter of fact, this fiber optic internet, I've been pursuing an account with this highly coveted company since November. And there was a long waiting list, and basically trying to land an account has been like a lottery, basically. So, and it just so happened that the account was finally approved after all these years, well, after all these months. Finally has been approved on July 28th, my birthday. So I'm very happy about that. Anyway, so I'm really happy about it. And yeah, the timing couldn't have been any better. It was like right there on my birthday. So, thank you for hanging out and with with the reading. I appreciate you. Another one will come next Sunday. I will be streaming today a little bit, so stay tuned for that. And if I don't see you, you have a wonderful Sunday. Don't forget to take care of your business, and I'll see you next time.